So I'm making a couple cutting boards, butcher block style cutting boards, and I figured I would document some of the process and show you what I'm working on. So these are going to be made out of maple, walnut, and cherry. And a couple reasons I chose those woods. First of all, they have a nice contrasting color, so it's going to look really cool when they're all set up together. And second, they're really dense wood. So all of them are hardwood, obviously, and they have quite a bit of density to them. There are really hard woods out there that are also quite porous, and what tends to happen in those is they're not as sanitary. They can catch food and particles and stuff that simply won't get in between the pores, or into the pores rather, on a maple or a cherry or something along those lines, because they're such tight-grained woods. So what I've got on the table right now is a piece of cherry. It's very similar to this piece of cherry. This one has already been prepped, it's ready to glue, and the way that I'm prepping them, I'm gluing the edges together, is with my hand plane. It's a number 4. It would be better to use a higher number for this, but I don't happen to have one with me, so I'm using the number 4. You can see that this is quite smooth, and of course very level. It's also got a very nice grain to it, but it's smooth enough that you're almost getting a glare or a reflection off it from the light. And that's what you're looking for to glue up, is a very flat, smooth surface that's going to allow the glue joint to be as strong as possible. Now I'm sure a lot of people just pass their wood through the jointer, the power jointer, or the planer, or perhaps a drum sander or something along those lines, and then glue up from there. But you'll have great difficulty convincing me that you will get as nice a surface from that as you will from hand planing. In fact, you're probably not going to convince me. I'm kind of stubborn and old-fashioned that way. So I'm taking the time to hand plane the surfaces that I'm joining together. For this, your hand plane, of course, needs to be set up well. I've got very little blade poking out of it, sticking out of it, whatever you want to say. And of course, when I'm not using it, if I don't feel like retracting the blade all the way, which I don't, I set it on its side. If you set your hand plane down, blade down, particularly on a metal surface, with the blade out, we can't be friends. Also, for the best possible finish when you're using your plane, and to make it easier on yourself, your blade should be as sharp as possible. If it's not sharp enough to kind of shave with, it's not sharp enough. Anyway, to make a long story endless, I'm really quickly going to plane down this surface. So I got my clamp on one side to keep this thing steady. I'm going to plane this side, and then put my clamp on the other side and plane the other one. Make sure when you're doing this, you're always going with the grain. This isn't a how-to video on how to use a hand plane, but sharp blade, don't make it stick out too much, go with the grain. Now I don't see any point in becoming the millionth YouTube user to make a how to sharpen your plane blade video, but if you guys want me to, just let me know. I probably will, because why not? Anyway, here we go. So, you can see that, or you may have heard or seen that that blade skipped a little bit, which means that my wood isn't level. And that's one of the reasons why I need to do this, to get it all leveled out. So, it looks like this area that I've been working on is pretty well level. Doesn't hurt to go over it a couple more times. Make sure you're moving around, trying to get even, what's the word I'm looking for, work on the entire surface. Especially if you're using a smoothing plane with a curved blade like I am, you need to make sure you're doing it all evenly and check it for square after. So, I'm just going to spend a few hours now pretending that I like to work with hand tools. Just kidding, I do like to work with hand tools. And then it'll be time to glue this thing up. So, stay tuned and we'll get back for that part.